Hi guys, I hope this is my last video today. I've made a lot of videos and some of you have gotten a ton of them and some of you lucky not have gotten that many. I want to talk about 6th grade computers because it's a little bit different than some of the other courses, and I want to make sure, because I've already noticed that we're not getting, some of us aren't getting check marks, so I want to make sure that we understand how this works. This is kind of a self-guided type course. A lot of it you do the work and then you check yourself, and so anyway, let's take a look. So if we go to the outline, you see we have the read it, practice it, show it AK, and you look down, that's a lot of it. Every once in a while they'll throw in an assess it, which is a test, or a watch it, which is a video. Every one of these things that is blue, that when you hover over it with your mouse, that underlines, these are all lessons that you have to do. If it's gray, then it's not anything you can get to. That's just kind of the title of the unit. Alright, so every one of these blue things, these lessons that are blue, eventually needs a check mark, and that means that you actually did it. Alright, we're looking for check marks. If you have something that doesn't have a check mark and it's a blue, then you need to go back and make sure that you spend enough time in there doing that. Now I'm not sure about the AKs, because I've been in there several times and it hasn't shown it, but we'll see. So the read it is basically you're reading about the topic. The practice it's going to have some kind of activity where you practice, and since this is a keyboarding class, it's going to have you practice typing somehow or another. I think this one is like a crossword. The show it's going to want you to answer questions in a word processing program. What's a word processing program? I know the words, something like Word. Alright, just open up a Word document and practice, because this is a typing class. They're wanting you to practice typing, alright, and saving and all that good stuff. Alright, if you have questions about word processing, just message me and we can figure it out. That's what a show it is, but it's asking you questions. You're going to answer the questions based on what you know from what you've already practiced up here, and then you're going to go to the show it AK, and the show it AK is an answer key for you to check and make sure that you answered the questions correctly. Alright, so this is how you grade yourself, is you try to remember the stuff that you learn, you type it in a word processing thing to practice typing, then you go to the answer key and see if you got it right. If you got it wrong, you may want to change your answer on your piece of paper so that you have the right answers to study for a test. So that's what the show it AK is, the answer key. Alright, now then, granted it's not locked and or whatever, you could go here, but then you're not doing yourself any favors. So anyway, there's no grade on this stuff. So even if you did get it wrong, you can fix it for later. The only thing that's graded is the assessment, and that is something that's sent to me to grade, or it automatically grades if it's a multiple choice questions. So your job is to go through each one of these, alright, and earn a check mark. That's your score. If you don't have a check mark, that means you haven't completed it. And then the assess it is where the test is. Now if you jump to the assess it before you've done all the other stuff, you may not do well. You have 2 tries to get a 60% or better, and if you don't get a passing grade, then you need to contact me, and we need to talk about what you need to go practice before you do the assessment again. So the assessment is going to have questions, alright, and then you're going to, looks like each question will just take up a whole screen. So you're going to answer the question, and you're going to go next, and so on and so forth. Okay, you can save and exit. Alright, and I think that it won't have submit until you've answered all the questions. Okay, so I haven't really answered all the questions. Let me just answer all the questions and let's see what happens. And I'm just going to randomly answer. Oh, here we go. If I've answered all the questions, then I get a submit. I can still save if I want to check my work and come back, or if I'm good to go, I'm going to submit. And it will tell me if I haven't answered. Oh, whoops, I didn't answer those questions. So let's go back. Let's go back to the ones I didn't answer. There we go. There we go. Now I'm just randomly picking answers. I'm not even reading the question. I'm just showing you what happens when you do this. There we go. So when I get to number 8, whoops, submit the answers, yes. Oh, and then I got a 75, so that'll let me move on, okay? And then I can look at how long it took me, how far behind I am, or how long it take me, or whatever. Anyway, I can look at the questions and see which ones I got right and which ones I got wrong. Okay, that kind of thing. Okay, if you do not get a passing grade, which is a 60% or better, then you'll need to do it again. I'm sure there is a retake option. Okay, if not, then or if you've burnt your 2 tries, then you'll have to contact me and we've got to talk about it. But make sure, because see, there's probably a lot of stuff in here that will help me do this. And so before I do my quiz, I need to make sure I have check marks. Okay? So that's how this works. Even on the watch it, be sure and watch it so you get a check mark. Okay? Don't just go through and do all the assessments. I hope that makes sense. So let's go back. Remember, you could, if you just work on this course, it'll go to the most current lesson that you're at and start working on it. And see right here, I can already tell that there's a bunch of answers to that quiz. So definitely need to pay attention, take notes. All you need is like a spiral notebook and write stuff down so that you can do good on the assessment. Okay? Alright, did I show you guys this thing on the other? I don't remember, but just in case, if you open this up, this will read stuff to you.
Learning new keys. Identifying correct fingers.
Okay?
Objective.
That will read it to you. You can highlight a word and look it up in the dictionary. This right here, you can highlight a word and highlight sentences. Okay, stuff like that. Alright, so play around with that. That might be interesting and helpful. Okay? So that's a quick overview on how the computers class is run, how it's graded or whatever. Make sure to get those check marks. As usual, if you have a question, send me a message here or text me on my phone number, which I'll try to remember to give you here in just a sec. Alrighty? Talk to you later.